necessarily that great. Masha, you can do split push. Yes, you may not win the fight against Arlott, but you can kind of leave the lane, go into the jungle, annoy a Bane. And in this case, that is a very, very smart adaptation coming from BTR to kind of tackle this first game draft.
A lot of depth in that Masha pick. Indeed. So I'm excited to see what will they bring, both teams rather, in the second game. We're talking about the drafts. Aura Fire here will stay on the blue side though. So what will be the changes, right? Because it seems like it's clear to me, not just execution, there was something wrong from the drafts.
Okay, we'll see how both of these coaches will attempt to try and outsmart one another. And on top of fatigue, the one thing that I really wanted to talk about was support, right? Support for the team. I think they need it so much, and you can see from the side of Bigatron Alpha, the manager is there, you can see the coach is there as well, but I don't really see the coach for Aura Fire.
Give him or give them the benefit of the doubt.
All
Maybe
right.
they're behind the camera, but
No,
yeah.
because when they lost, I saw Reza Pahlavi leave the room.
Okay. Okay, yeah, but I do agree. I want to touch on the support. Yeah, support, because today has been a long day, not just for BTR. It has been a long day for Aura Fire. Oh my god.
Yeah, but at the same time, I want to see how the drafts kind of go in here because adaptations need to be made. Aura Fire, I'm surprised they still went for that first pick priority, but it feels like Beatrix being shown onto the second phase pick right from the get-go kind of gave away a good tell for BTR to kind of abuse the strengths and weaknesses of what Beatrix can do. So I feel like going for eventually when it comes to the meta itself, tank meta has still very, very popular even now in this current patch. So what deals with tanks? DHS is a great way to deal with it. True damage is very, very good as well. Penetration is also something that is very, very good. I kind of want to see maybe a Dirov being picked up, even though you guys are not a big fan of it. We did see it in yesterday's games though, but I want to see how Aura Fire adapts to the situation, but I'm pretty sure they will not pick the Beatrix this time.
Who picked up the Dairoth again? Was it BTR as well?
It was Setsujin
Oh,
on the jungle.
Yeah.
Evos. Alright, that makes sense.
Second.
They're picking up weird stuff and it actually works, so cool for them. The Yves and the Fredrin here comes through very quickly. Whoa, 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 guys, hang on. We need to analyze this, right? Kadira and Lancelot is the way that they want to answer back. And we have to talk about this, right? Once again, it's always the Lancelot and the Fredrin in the jungle. And who's better for objective gaming?
I think when it comes to objectives here, it feels like from BTR side, they're taking away the Freddy because of the fact that they know Van is just so good at this hero. But the problem here is Mortis is still in the pool, so they should be banning it off right from the get-go. Obviously, Saka is still very comfortable with Melissa, is still going to be sticking to their guns. However, now, when it comes to tanky heroes, what is great to deal with Fredrin? Carry is amazing in shredding through armor. Any heroes with DHS is going to be able to get value out of this. So I wouldn't be surprised that they will be leaning all on the Claude, but BTR, all they gotta do is just ban it off. In this case, it was banned. So what other great heroes that can deal with it? Maybe...
I miss Lunox, honestly.
Okay, Lunox
It's super not meta, but man, I miss those times.
Actually, Lunox isn't too bad. They can go for a double major considering that they've shown the Kadita. Maybe, just maybe, High might be playing it as well.
Yeah, that's still a possibility, and great pickup there. Lunox is also a viable option, even though it's not meta. But Bigatron, like you mentioned here, Terrence, they will try to limit the options for that marksman role. And Aura Fire, what they're trying to do is pretty clear as well. They do not want to go up against the Kaja, especially this Kaja from Supervin in game 1 was super annoying, right? Farsa couldn't ult, basically, and this is also the reason why Aura Fire, let's just ban it out. We want to play it safe. And with this current roster that they have, why they prior the lands, we touched on it, it's good contesting Retribution going up against Fredrin.
Yep, it's just something banned that is so good as well. And now with the Kaja also ban off as well, it kind of allows this Lancelot to actually go free reign. But Kufra is still in the pool as well if they decide to have Super Win kind of play it. But my question here is, if they force this Kadita into his mage role, they are going to be lacking a lot of magical damage. And question here is, could they flex it double mage coming in for Aura Fire or force a mage in the goal lane? Maybe, like you said as well, Lunox could be a possibility, Harif as well could be a possibility, which I don't think is going to happen, but just putting it out there for now.
I don't know. I think even Kadita Roamer deals a lot of damage, no? My main concern is more wave clear, right?
Yeah.
Is my issue. So they need to think about this, right? Because I feel like Bigatron Alpha in game number 1 were able to capitalize over the fact that they had better wave clear and therefore better control over the map and those side lanes. And I keep repeating that Aura Fire needs to be able to win those side lanes. But here we go, Uranus gets taken out, but in response, they actually go for the Grok pick instead, kind of denying if Aura Fire wants to pick up the Claude.
I mean, yeah, they denied the Claude already with that ban as well here.
Oh, right,
But
I didn't see that.
With the Grok here, it's still a flex, right? They have yet to pick up the Roam and EXP, and it's still a question for Aura Fire. Is this Grok going to Roam or EXP? But in response, Aura Fire called and composed. They will. Wait, they picked up the Parsa on a Grok.
I'm
That's
surprised.
so,
I'm
so
really
risky.
surprised by this here because all the Grok got to do is just drop a Guardian's Barrier, boom, your Feather Asteroid's gone. Oh
Exactly.
no, you know, preemptively forcing a Farsa to go for Purify just to block it. Not necessarily the greatest, but nice. I like this carry pickup. It deals with both this tanky composition here. Grok and Frederick is not going to have a good time if they overextend. So punishing them is going to be key. Having those vengeance is great and all, but now the final pick coming from Bigatron to kind of give them that upper edge is going to be very, very important. In this case, XP, I think Yuzhong is a good shout. I love it. Yuzhong is perfect to deal with this Farsa.
Man, if they pick up the Yuzhong, that's GG. Honestly, right? Because sure, I understand the carry pick is great for Aura against the Grok as well as the Fredrin, but the problem is her range, right? Carry is so susceptible to these long-range artillery mages like the Eve.
But no.
So that's already
EXP.
scary. And the
Fredrin.
fact is now, I would say that carry should be forced on the sprint. And with the Hayabusa coming into play as well, oh man, the amount of just aggression that the Hayabusa has, oh, I don't know. This Farsa's not going to have a good time at all.
It's going to be very hard if you're the Farsa here and that carry, but all in all, it's somehow in our draft, I've got to go to a Bigatron side.
Yeah, I like Bigatron as well.
I have to agree, right? Even if the Hayabusa had some impact on both of these key backline, the fact is carry can build one, right? So that's kind of a silver lining for Aura Fire here, but the Farsa, they still need the impact from the Farsa. I want to know what the casters are feeling about this draft. So, gentlemen, take it away.
So literally right before we came on, we just said, oh, that's a Chad move to the Hayabusa pickup. You pick up Hayabu Chad and Chadrin together. That carry looks like it's not going to have a good time. I think we're both leaning Bigatron also with the draft here.
Absolutely. I mean, you saw our predictions. We thought that this was going to go all 3 games, but right now, Bigatron are looking mighty fine with the draft that they had, the momentum that they got off of game number 1, and now they're looking to close this out against Aura Fire on the blue side, Bigatron Alpha on the red.
If ever this is going to be their last game, at least we're going to see an anime battle between 2 assassins, a Lancelot and a Hayabusa that's packing a Master Assassin. So you know Super Ken's job here is simple. I'm going to look for Kabuki. I'm going to look for Reza.
And arguably, you can even like start it early and start working on high, right? Get those rough waves out, and Moreno is going to have the time of his life when he decides to RWM.
And if you don't want Aura Fire to scale quickly, take them out right away. Sounds easier to do, but Super Ken has been making difficult things look easy all throughout so far.
So very true. So very true. Right. I personally like the draft when it comes down to the I wouldn't even say that it's overthinking, but just really good preparation, right? I mean, Bigatron Alpha setting things up with his Grok. It was flexible. Aura Fire trying to go think ahead. Reza. Wow! He ends up dying. That is so unlucky.
Reza goes down. Couldn't bring enough Riz. It was Super Ken rizzing on him. My goodness. And Super Vin, that looked premeditated. It was like, Vin, I'm here. Go for it.
Yeah, he really believed he was going to survive. Vaughn having to use that Phantom Execution, get on out of there. The worst part is that Reza, he was so close to the minion wave, and then damage, just slight damage, from the Nature's Barrier. Wow, I'm surprised that Hai is still alive there.
Yeah, it seems like Hai and Reza might need to communicate more, considering that they're up against a Master Assassin Hayabusa. If he's going to go one way, he needs to have help. Let's see if that they can fix things out there. Right now, you see Van in the turtle. No Super Can just yet, so Orifire might actually be able to take this.
Doesn't look like they are interested too much in this side quest. They leave the turtle into the hands of Orifire. They're transitioning, and more importantly, Supercan, he just wants to get his own level lead, right? He's got the kill that he's looking for, and now we're just waiting for him to snowball out of control.
I wonder if that's going to be the trade for Bigatron. You can get a few early turtles, maybe the first two, but then I'm going to be going out around elsewhere, getting kills. That doesn't sound like half a bad plan.
I mean, let's see how this plan works out. Super Vin, great power of nature to ensure that Hai doesn't get any value from his Petrify. Now has to wait 67 seconds.
And you see here the strength of a Grok Roamer up against a Kadita. Just the power of nature charged up means he doesn't have to worry about getting controlled. I thought Super Vin was actually going to be able to steal that litho with a wall, but it was Van able to use the retry.
But imagine, though.
That would have hurt.
Oh, boy. If we're talking about tilt, I mean, it would be very serious after a play like that.
Yeah, 975 emotional damage.
Top side, it's still pretty dead lane so far, but bottom side, that's where you're seeing the full engage. Vin already having to use the wild charge. Rough Wage being expanded by Hai. The RWM trying to lock him in place, allowing the kill to fall into Sakin's hands. Quick taunt, back to business in the lane.
Orifire got a little bit too greedy there. I understand they needed to get a win elsewhere, but they weren't watching out for the Eve. And Super Vin still hugging the wall, able to get away.
Doesn't want to give Kabuki an opportunity here. More importantly, Van, he's been looking for kills all game. To be fair, he's gotten really close.
Yeah, really, really close. Let's see if he can finally get that. The one that he's been looking for after such a long time. I'm really just talking about kills here, nothing about romance or anything. Super Cat and Van still both going for their purple buffs. Turtle in around 11. And now I wonder if the XP leaders are going to join in, or are they just going to continue smacking each other topside?
I don't think Chorizo is going to let Palevi move out of this thing. Look, he's literally chasing him down.
He's tailing him. It's like, oh, you really want to go down there? No, I'm going after you.
Yeah, this is the kind of traffic I don't like dealing with. Somebody just constantly tailgating me. And now Superman, he's in position. He spots out too. I don't know if they've noticed Hai just yet. Super King could actually look to contest this, trying to look for the quad shadow. Gets right on it, tries to steal it, and secures it from Vaughn. They walk away. No casualties so far, but maybe Superman? No, not even then. Man, unlucky.
Oh, Rafire, you've been struck by a smooth criminal. Super Can at that point, that was Grand Theft Turtle, as Leo would potentially call it. Almost taking down Reza even in the mid.
Yeah. At the very least, the quad shadow felt like it was fair this time, you know?
Yeah.
It didn't feel like RNG wasn't on your side.
Super Can calculated, I guess you could call it. Van able to... Oh, is he going to be able to hold enough? Yes. Holds on to the mid tower. But yeah, that does not look good for Orifire. And again, Saken not having any difficulty at all in the gold lane. Orifire have tried. They made attempts. It's just that Bigatron Alpha were ready for it and got to answer.
Yeah, and to be fair, Bigatron Alpha actually isn't that far ahead. I thought the lead would be a little bit wider, but it's only 822. So what is Orifire missing here?
Oh man, I seem like they just need to get a little bit more minion wave, fix their timings.
Blade. Super Kid! He trades 1 for 1 despite everything. A full combination from Hai, dodging the feathered airstrike with the Oki shadow kill. Oh man!
What a play! Super Cat showing why he added a super to his name. And the continued onslaught in the mid, Reza falls.
Yep, Vaughn, he's chasing down Phantom Execution being expanded. He's not willing to dash again. He doesn't know where his opponents are. And more importantly, he doesn't know if Super Ken is waiting for him or made his way over to the purple buff. No information, no power.
Saken, DHS and Corrosion Scythe. Chorizo, dire straits, but able to get away. Meanwhile, his opposing marksman, Oni Kabuki, has just built a Corrosion Scythe, but it looks like he's getting close to the DHS as well. So, yeah, still very close. Orifire just needs to find that one big play, one big combo. This might be it.
They want to punish Chorizo. They're going to find the punish on Chorizo. No problem. Bottom side of the map, however, Saken's getting some good damage on towards Vaughn's side, but Pahlevi finally sees Saken and now can get into a proper 1v1. The Vengeance is looking good, but he's pinned against the wall, and now Saken wants to fully take advantage as Supervid follows up with a wild charge. Pavlevi is out, and he doesn't want to be part of this fight no more. Supercan starts things off. Vaughn is nearby, but this is dangerous. Do we see the quad channel just yet? No, he holds on to it some more. The quad channel is good, and it's going to be Vaughn who secures that Lord. Supercan is going to take his life as tax, and High manages to get away with the Ocean Oddity.
Okay, Van, we see you. You steal a turtle from me, I'll steal a turtle from you. I really thought he wouldn't be able to get it, but oh no! Supercan caught out. Aura Fire found a pretty big opening. Can they convert it? But it looks like in the bottom lane, Saka is just continuing what he did from game number 1.
Yep. I mean, Aura Fire, what can you really look to convert, right? The top tier 1 is already gone. Mid lane is being covered by Bigatron Alpha perfectly, and walking into top side jungle is just a death sentence with so many members mid.
And now Bigatron Alpha looking for the positioning again. In terms of the items, Marksman again still very neck and neck, but because of how Kabuki played that sequence before the last turtle of the game, being able to help secure a kill there onto Chorizo, and then of course pushing up top, he's just in a very slight lead.
That's so funny that we've been talking about the fact that Vaughn has been, I wouldn't say be failing, but he gets very close to securing kills. And now he's like, you know what? I don't need this the Guardian's help. Just give me an endless battle right now.
Let's see when he'll finally be able to build it, and if finally he'll be able to get those skills chained up. I mean, War Axe, very rare to see War Axe being prioritized now as a Lancelot because of the shifting playstyle for junglers, but Van is just like, I want kills, I want damage.
And they find it too on the bottom side. The Oki Shadow Kill comes out a little unlucky with the ticks, but Kabuki is still alive and finds the kill on to Chorizo. The collapse coming in from Bigatron Alpha with the backup just slightly behind. The RWN is good, but it's going to be the rough waves that buys just enough time with the knockup with Breath of the Ocean. Supercan manages to survive, but the back line is getting attacked. Levy is stuck in the middle of 3. Bigatron now turning it around. 2 for 3 trade. Make that a 4 for 2 trade.
Van, is he gonna try to push the issue here? Going after Saka. Oh! Phantom execution!
No!
And he's still dodging. No way!
No way, he's gonna get it! He's gonna die! The Thorn Rose connects! The iframes are perfect! And Supervid just has to let Vaughn walk away. Cool guys don't look at explosions.
Cool guys also say, Mom, I finally did it! He finally got those kills plus more. 3 out of a crazy sequence from Van. But Aura Fire now, what can they do to make sure that those kills will just be for nothing? They balanced it out, but it looks like we might get to the situation where it will be a full team fight for this Lord unless Aura Fire decide to make a different call.
Well, thank God that Vaughn just decided, you know what, I'm gonna get a Zerg Blade. If I can't get those kills, then fine. No big deal. But he goes for the Thunderbelt instead of the Endless Battle. Now we see a Golden Staff being purchased by Saka, and power spikes all across the board, but Aura Fire finally with a slight lead of their own.
A tremendous read by Aura Fire, knowing that, well, my purple buff's just about to spawn, so that means Super Ken needs to get his purple buff. We're in position. Let's just rush the Lord right away. So now, Bigatron Alpha, after being in control, they just received a styling and profiling from Van, and now they are in this position, having to defend against a Lord push. Aura Fire, they'll look to prioritize that tower in the mid lane, which is still very healthy for Bigatron Alpha.
I mean, we heard from the analysts that Vaughn and Supercan are just nasty junglers. I feel like they've been playing more hours on Lancelot than they do breathing air.
I think we were talking about this behind the scenes. Right now, we're just witnessing 2 players that were probably born to jungle, born to make those high-profile plays. And we said it. We were gonna get an anime fight, and we've been getting an anime fight.
Yeah, they literally came out of the womb with a Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra. I don't know how they got it. It just is. And a fully updated game, but Chorizo getting put down very low. And the airstrike is looking good, but Vaughn is going to find the mega kill already. If you guys aren't going to deal enough damage, I'll do it myself.
You mentioned grit, you mentioned heart, determination, Gideon, and that is what we're seeing from Aura Fire. Giddy up, Gideon, we're in for a ride, because Aura Fire have just completely turned the map blue in favor of them, and now Bigatron have their backs against the wall after leading for so long.
I think after they mentally decided, you know what, we didn't qualify for IESF, so we're going to qualify right here, right now, and make sure that we are going to be representing on home soil. Bigatron Alpha, on the other hand, it doesn't mean that they're out just yet. The 3.6k lead developed by Aura Fire, I would say it's minor, but it does mean that they will hit their item power spikes first.
Yeah, alongside the items, we also talked about what Aura Fire needed to do earlier. They just needed to chain their abilities together. Once they have their items, make the most out of the combinations. Yes, you're going to lose a member or two in a team fight, but you have the composition that once you've bursted the members of Bigatron Alpha, as long as Kabuki's alive, you still have someone to clean things up with.
I just love the fact that despite already having a Thunderbolt, they say, you know what? I need more empowered autos, even though technically it doesn't really stack in the way that you would imagine it to. With the Endless Battle as well, at least he's pretty much at his full build.
Sometimes the things we want aren't exactly what we need, but because they're just so shiny, it just feels good. I feel like that's what Van's just thinking right now.
What do they call it? Do they call it shopping therapy? No. I think it's there's a proper term for this. We'll get back to it. We'll get back to it.
We'll remember it.
Yeah, we'll remember it. But for now, Vaughn, he's able to get on out of these situations, and I think he's playing out of his mind. Look at the gold he's earned, 11K single-handedly.
With the goal lead this high right now, and with Kabuki and Saka in pretty much even playing field, there's a slight level lead for Kabuki, but they both have their items. Just who can play better for their marksman. And right now, Aura Fire just playing so much better. Oh, look at Bigatron, look at Bigatron!
Making an attempt. It's going to be Vaughn who secures that Lord. The Oki Shadow kill. Really unlucky, but Vaughn is taking no damage whatsoever. Reza trying to look for the stun onto Super Kid. It looks good!
Bang.
He hits the shots with a feathered airstrike, allowing Vaughn to jump deep into the middle of that fight. Hai doesn't see the angle just yet. Bigatron Alpha able to escape.
Reza raining bombs over Bigatron, specifically Super Ken. And right now, the Super is slowly fading away from Ken as Aura Fire just keep finding him. It's like they realize this guy's been a nuisance all game long, and they've shut down the Hayabusa sequence after sequence.
And I think even for Supervin, right, he's just not finding Reza at the right place at the right time because he is just Reza is holding on to that feather airstrike until the very last second.
Yeah, and that's how you know you are playing with a world-class, top-tier mid laner. Key skill conservation, incredibly important for these two artillery mages. Aura Fire, here they are in the mid lane. How many can they get out of this?
They get Vin initially, but that's not a primary target. The mid inhibitor is still so close to falling. They drop down Muddles as well as the RW web. They're chasing Kabuki all the way to the back. Sakken as well being chunked out, and Supercan forcing him to get away as Reza's feather airstrike is good, but Vaughn, this means no more support. He's able to secure a kill of his own. The resets come through, but Vaughn doesn't care. Takes care of that mid inhibitor, and now the second wave about to collapse.
5v4. Can Bigatron hold on? Final slash misses, actually.
Okay.
Aura Fire missed some key abilities there, and, well, someone's still on cooldown. Okay, Van?
All right, just go back in there, right? Vaughn is really feeling himself. He is hyper confident he can get away from this, and Kabuki is going to straight away punish Vin. Great stun. Supercan gets into the middle of the fight, but again, how much damage is that going to be? Nearly takes him out. One more auto would have been enough.
3 fidget spinners to the face, and Supercan forced to go back. Bigatron Alpha. Still, okay, now the story has switched considerably, so a lot of us, I don't think a lot of us expected this. At this point, you could just say, even though the Bigatron Alpha draft was better, Aura Fire are just outplaying them time and time again. They've read how Bigatron and their flow of battle goes, who initiates, who is positioned where. I just really have to give the flowers to, of course, Van. We've been giving the flowers to him. Reza, being able to use the Curse of Crow to stun at the right time to stop Bigatron with their initiation sequences. And, of course, Hai with his knockups. They've been massive. Tempo breaking. Have their efforts been against Bigatron?
I think it's really impressive that Hai has been using that Breath of the Ocean, not necessarily targeting people to get hit by the knockup, but really forcing them in a position where you're going to get hit by every other ability, right? It's either you get knocked up or everything else. It's your choice.
Yeah, so you're just sandwiched between crowd control abilities at that point. It's not a sandwich you would eat. You're just like, okay, I guess I'm taking this. And Bigatron, let's see how much more can they take as Aura now with a massive lead. It looks like they're still prioritizing contesting. But again, you have a Hayabusa. He can just use a shadow to somehow steal it. Can Bigatron get away afterwards?
Palevi taking quite a bit of damage here. Sakin doesn't want to walk up in front of Superkin, tries to make a play onto the backside. It hits Kabuki perfectly. He's locked in. His Winds of Nature has to be popped. The Feathered Airstrike to slow them down, but it's not enough as Rizzo cancels it out. The back line getting attacked, and they find it. High hits the jungler, and now he's running for his life. Good luck securing the Lord without a retribution, sir, as Vaughn now able to free hit onto Moreno. A 3-for-1 trade, and now they're going to back up.
One of the popular phrases by Echo of Philippines and the Philippine pros as a whole. This looks endable for Aura Fire. Will they force game number 3? They have a wall to get past. Here comes Reza. Can Bigatron hold on?
14 seconds is the key. 14 seconds until Cerezo and Super can come out. Feathered Airstrike on the right corner. Superman is able to slow it down, but no, it's too late. Kabuki has more than enough damage, and that's a GG. Well played. Aura Fire, despite having a tougher to pull off draft, make it and equalize it to 1-for-1.
Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 7. Let's go for 10, says Aura Fire. At this point, I feel like, yes, fatigue set in, but at this point, it's pride. They're fighting for that pride. They're fighting for that slot as well. That is important, but the war, the history these two teams have gone through in this long day, they just say, you know what, let's give them one last ride, one last big show for the fans.
Oh, man. It's one of those moments where you get that lead, and then you take that breath of fresh air, then you get throat punched instantly, just coughing out all the air that you just inhaled. You're looking for that moment of peace and silence, but both sides, true competitors here, not giving them a moment to